Where is Juan Miranda?
Juan Miranda was here this morning.
No, he wasn't.
He was.
No, I called the doctor, he didn't answer. Juan Arturo Miranda?
He came in afterwards. He came in late, but he might have
Yes,
left and not come
possibly
back.
back there. So he may not have wanted to be here.
Okay,
But we'll try to find him.
all right, thank you. All right, is there anyone who's ready? And by ready, I mean your client has been brought out. And I can tell you, they're bringing everyone out.
I am on a contested NPR, but if you want to wait, I'll deal with it.
All right, who's your?
Isaac Chavez.
All right, they're gonna pull the file.
Okay. Can I step out for 1 second and call the
Yes.
office?
Thank you. Oh, no problem. I'll look at the search artist then. Thank you.
Huh? That's good. Do I have Alvarado? It's oh.
I'm in the group.
Vincent.
Vincent?
Yes, yes. Kim. Yeah. Yes. Are you afraid? Yes. No, it's a recruitment exam, like Daniel and. If you just feel comfortable bringing forward, just be along behind. Okay. Right.
So on this one, there's a motion for the motion. Oh, here it is. Motion. Motion to approve.
Yeah, she wants to see if we can forward that to. She can find out this.
All right, who is, McLaurin? If you'll come forward. Okay. No problem. The interpreter?
Right.
This is yours.
No, that is.
This Florence. I'll try correctly with your personal knowledge. Or even more than him.
Why so one to be coffee, that's it.
He's kind of cycling. And then statement is terminated. You find but they're singing about the wine that they're entering. One, those five, instead of execute, it's not basically. Because that one for the- That's a good.
How about next day?
All right, thank you. You too. All right, anybody who's ready? Okay.
What do you need?
Oh, who's ready?
We're ready.
All right, who's your client?
Kelly Cotner.
You didn't have to pull it, just pull it right now.
We had a continuance pending on this.
When everybody comes in, you have to go to the post and ask them to pull the file, otherwise everybody's just sitting there.
I didn't,
Because I don't know if people are ready, if you don't pull the file. All right. State, are you ready on Kelly Cotner?
Yes.
All right, so we're set for discovery. Where are we on that?
Judge, so we reached out to the Houston Crime Lab, after you had signed the motion last, I believe it was on the 14th of August.
Mhm.
He submitted it the very next day. I reached out yesterday, they said that they still had more time, but I did ask to expedite, getting us the discovery, they said they could do that. It's still gonna take a few weeks for them to get it together, just because of the amount of cases that are on that backlog to get discovery out.
and I will add to that. I issued a subpoena duces tecum to the laboratory and had it served in Houston.
Mhm.
And the analyst wasn't there. She was in Austin. And it's under a Houston laboratory, report. So I served them in Austin the next day. So I don't know how long it takes to get this done.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give them a 30-day reset for discovery?
Yes, sir.
And may I just address the court on one thing?
Sure.
The court, the laboratories that I've been sending this to are not abiding by the order. They have been refusing to provide me with the quality control of charts for their testing.
Mhm.
And so I have to come back and say, hey, they didn't do this. And I'm just telling you, if I get this thing and something's missing, I have to come back to you.
Okay. All right, what date, Ms. Ferguson?
October 14th.
All right, we'll be back on October 14th.
Thank you.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you excuse.
Judge.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's straight, second row. Second row.
And Norma, what page is she on?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, who's the interpreter here for? Are you doing plea paperwork? Okay. All right, McDaniel.
Thank you, Judge.
And on McDaniel, here is the dismissals.
Okay.
And I did have a chance to read the letters.
Thank you, Judge. Looks like Patty Court 16.
I think 14.
Oh,
Okay.
I was like, that's a new one.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 4842, State of Texas versus Clarence McDaniel. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Daniel, as far as
defense?
Marissa Giovanco for Mr. McDaniel.
And are you Clarence McDaniel?
Yes.
All right, you entered a plea in this case on June 27th. To count one, you entered a plea of guilty. State waived count two without objection. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court deferred finding of guilt. According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on count one. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 5 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. It will run concurrent with County Court 14, cause number 726688. They're taking in consideration the following County Court 14, cause number 726689, 726690. There's to be restitution payable under County Court cause number 726689 and 726690. The state is silent on your application. All right, have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections, state?
No, no.
Defense?
No, Judge, just some clarifications that I'll clarify with witnesses.
All right, you may proceed. State is silent.
Thank you, Judge. Defense calls Katina McDaniel.
All right, Katina McDaniel.
Right here, we'll be back again.
Hello. All right, can you raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Katina McDaniel.
All right,
Can you spell your name for the court reporter?
Yes, it's a C like Charles, Atina.
Thank you, Katina. May I call you Katina?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And how do you know Clarence McDaniel?
He is my oldest son.
Okay. And can you tell the judge how many children you have?
I have 7,
Okay.
and he's number 2.
He's
I'm
the-
sorry, number 3.
Okay.
Yes,
But you did say he's your oldest
the
son.
oldest son. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So it would be fair to say you have daughters that are older than him.
Yes, 2 daughters that are older than him.
Okay. And all of your children, you said 6, are they all living here in San Antonio?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Mhm.
At the time that Clarence picked up this offense, was he living with you?
No, he was not. Yeah, he had his own apartment.
Okay. Who was he living with, to your knowledge?
He was living with his girlfriend.
And tell the judge about Clarence's childhood upbringing.
Clarence had a pretty normal upbringing all the way up until he was 12. That's when he lost his father. For maybe 1 or 2 years after that, we had a little trouble, but I think it was him acting out because of his father's demise. I don't think he ever really fully came to terms with that.
Okay. After his father passed away, did he have any male role models in his life?
Not really, and that's the thing, because a lot of people offered to step up and nobody really did after his dad died.
And what other family do you have living here in San Antonio?
My mom lives here, my dad lives here, and I have 2 sisters that live here.
Okay. And do you have family other places in Texas?
I don't, but he has family that's in Houston.
Okay, Clarence has family in
Yes,
Houston.
yes, he is.
Okay, who are they?
His other grandmother lives there, and then he's got 6. He's got 2 uncles and 4 aunts that live out there.
Okay.
Mhm.
And How old is Clarence?
Clarence will be 24 this year in December.
Okay. Has he had any adult criminal history, adult convictions that you know of?
No.
Tell the judge what kind of a person Clarence is.
Clarence, he's a lot like his dad. He's real shy. Doesn't talk a lot, kind of keeps to himself, but I would say he has some of my personality too. He can be smart. I mean, if he applied himself, he could really go places.
Okay. And tell the judge about his girlfriend. What was going on when he got arrested in his life?
Well, the relationship between him and the girlfriend, I don't really feel like it was all that great. I think maybe initially I felt like he got caught up in this due to her demands. I don't know, but I just really feel like that. Because he was the only one in the house that was really doing anything. She wasn't working or anything. And then they had took on the extra responsibility of trying to raise her mom's kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old was
What do you
her?
mean? I'm sorry, trying to raise her mother's children? What do you mean?
Yeah, the daughter took the girlfriend's mother had a baby, and his girlfriend took responsibility of the baby.
Oh, so it's not his child and it's not the girlfriend's child?
Right.
Okay.
It would be fair to say it was the girlfriend's sister.
Right. Yeah. She was raising her sister pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah.
And how old was this child? Do you know?
She was young. She maybe was like, when they took possession of her, she was like 2 months, I think. Because I think CPS had stepped in and the girlfriend offered to take responsibility for the child.
So the girlfriend took placement from CPS
Right.
of an infant.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
And do you feel that was a lot of pressure
I feel like it was.
on Clarence? Let me finish my question.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay. And you understand we're asking the judge to give Clarence a chance at probation.
Yes.
If Clarence were to get out of jail, where would he live?
He could reside with me, my mother, his grandfather. He's got a choice of places he could go.
Okay. And is there an opportunity possibly waiting for him in Houston?
Well, there is an aunt. I think she was one of the ones that submitted a letter that said that she owns a trucking company and she would be willing to give him a chance to come and drive for her company, the Tammy McDaniel.
Okay.
Mhm.
And do you feel that being in custody, or I'm sorry, have you talked to Clarence while he's been in custody?
Oh, yeah. I talk to him all the time.
Okay. And do you feel that he has accepted responsibility for what he did?
Yes.
Do you feel that he is willing and motivated to do treatment or anything the judge asks of him on probation?
I really believe he will.
Are you able to be there and support him if need be through probation?
Oh, yeah.
And-
Definitely.
And anybody else in the family? Does he have any other
Yeah,
people who will
he's
support him?
got support of both my sisters. He's got my brother-in-laws, his grandfather especially will definitely, yeah,
Okay, so he has a big support
a
system.
big support system. Yes.
Is there anything else that you want to tell the judge?
I mean, he's young, he's made some mistakes,
Made some choices.
made some choice, and I agree with that, yes. And I tell him that all the time, you're an adult, I can't watch over you, but I really feel that if he's given another opportunity, that he will get it correct this time, because he's made a lot of bad decisions, but I think he's finally coming to terms with those decisions. So, and he told me, the last time he talks, he wants to work. He wants to get out, get him a job. He realizes that now the way that the route that he chose was not the best route. So now he's more motivated to go out and work a regular job and make his, contribute to society the way that he should. I haven't had any contact with the ex-girlfriend, but I'm urging him or asking him, I think he should probably do this journey by himself.
All right, any questions?
Nothing.
All right, so let's get to the crux of the situation. Here's the problem. He's out selling drugs.
Right.
And in the PSI report, he's saying you were not a good parent. His father wasn't a good parent. That his father went to prison, that you went to jail in 2017, and you all were always arguing and fighting in the house, and he got physical. So let's talk about that because I'm trying to understand who he is and why is he here before me selling drugs?
Yeah, it did get physical between me and my late husband. I will admit to that. I don't feel like I was a bad parent. I did go to jail for a year. I came back out, got my nursing license and went to work. So it wasn't like I was just, continuing this cycle. That was 8 years ago.
So I'm like, why is he selling drugs? That's what I'm trying to get to. And I'm trying to understand there is nothing then in his background that suggests that he should be selling drugs.
I agree.
And when people sell drugs, they ruin other people's lives. So why is he selling drugs? And it's not his girlfriend's fault that he's selling drugs. He's not 10 and
Right.
she's giving him instructions. He decided to do this on his own. So the question is why? Even though why is not an element of the offense, why? Because otherwise he should probably go to prison because he's just being a predator on people who have addictions.
I don't really feel like he's a predator because he's never done this type of activity before.
Well,
I mean, if he had a record of this, I would agree with that. But this is the first time that I'm aware of him out here doing such things.
This is the first time he got arrested for it. And he got arrested because they did an undercover sting, I guess,
Right.
with him.
Right.
So he was setting up a buy. And he was doing it through text messaging.
Yeah, and when the attorney presented me with that, I had no idea
Yeah.
that was going on.
So I honestly don't understand why I should give him probation because he's selling drugs. And then next thing you know, he's doing an evading arrest. I know people always come before me. They're saying he's young, he can change, but why does change always happen once you're in court as opposed to doing something before? And in the PSI report, I don't know if you've read it, I've read it. It's saying that he would live 2 or 3 days at your house, then go live 2 or 3 days at his girlfriend's house.
I don't even know where the girlfriend lives.
No, what I'm saying is in the PSI report, he said that he would live 2 or 3 days at your house, then he would leave and stay 2 or 3 days at his girlfriend's house.
We stayed with the girlfriend longer than that. The only time he would come. Huh?
When you say we, who is we?
No, I said he would stay.
Yeah, that's what he said. He'd say he'd stay there for a couple of
He would
days.
stay that longer than that.
Yeah.
Than 3 or 4 days.
Mhm.
The only time he would come back to my house is whenever they were having disputes.
Mhm.
And it really wasn't even that long.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It wasn't no 2 or 3 days. He was with her for a while.
No. I agree that it was over a length of time,
Mhm.
but their relationship was one where he would stay at her house for a few days, then come and stay at yours, then go back and stay at hers for a few days. That's what I've read in the PSI report.
Okay. Well, I'm just acknowledging that is not what it was.
No, I understand.
Mhm.
All right. Any other questions?
Not for this witness, Judge.
Thank you so much for
Oh.
coming in. All
Thank you.
Yeah.
Defense calls Clarence McDaniel.
right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Clarence McDaniel,
Thank you, Judge. Clarence, tell the judge, how old are you?
23.
And I know the judge has already read the PSI, but tell the judge how your dad passing affected you.
Didn't really have a father figure and nobody to look up to when he passed. And I didn't really, I didn't have really a father figure once he left.
Was it hard on you?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell the judge about your girlfriend that you were with when you got arrested.
It was like any young relationship, it's kind of a little rocky, trying to have stability and take care of a kid, but I did the best I could do.
Okay. And tell the judge how you got custody of a 2-month-old baby.
We had to make sure we had an apartment in a car to somewhere for the baby to live, and then somewhere to get the baby back and forth to.
And Child Protective Services just decided this was a great idea. Okay.
That's my understanding, Judge. Is that what happened? Child Protective Services put the baby with your girlfriend?
Yes,
Okay. And who was all living together?
it was me, her, and the baby.
Okay. And how was that? Was it easy having an infant?
It was pretty stressful. It was pretty stressful.
Were you working?
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you working?
Working, I was doing tip agency jobs really.
Okay, so not consistent, or was it consistent work?
It was sometimes consistent, yeah. Definitely.
I believe you told the pretrial officer this was the only time you had ever attempted at selling drugs. Is that correct?
Yes.
You had never sold drugs to anyone else before this day?
No, ma'am.
And what made you, that's the judge, you heard the judge, that's her question. Why? Why did you decide to sell drugs?
I was really just trying to support my habit, you know what I'm saying, support my youth. I just started using and I was just trying to support my youth.
Were you also trying to get money for the baby or just for your habit?
Mainly just for my habit, but I mean, I used to, you know, babies need have needs too, so yeah.
Okay. Now, have you been in tell the judge your girlfriend's name.
Tasharia Harper.
Tasharia. Have you been in communication with Tasharia while you've been in custody? When was the last time you talked to her?
I believe also last Sunday.
Okay, so still recently.
Yes.
Okay. Are you planning on still being with Tasharia when you get out of jail?
I'm not quite too sure. I don't know really. You know, when you go to jail, you see kind of who's there for you and who's not. So I don't know. I probably just try and work and get somewhere to stay by myself really quick now.
Okay, where are you planning on living when you get out of jail? If you get out of jail?
Grandma's house.
Your grandma's house. So where does she live?
She lives on the east side where my mom stays.
Here in San Antonio. Okay. And where do you want to look for a job?
I got an opportunity right now with the Buttercrust Corporation.
Okay, what would you be doing for Buttercrust?
Loading up trucks and unloading them.
Okay. And I know we've talked about the possibility of driving a truck for your aunt or uncle in Houston. Is that also a possibility you would consider?
Yes, ma'am. I just got to get my driver's license.
Okay. So you would have a job lined up either way.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you've told the judge and the pretrial officer about your drug use. You've been in custody for a while. Are you motivated to stay clean?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You understand that if the judge were to give you probation, she could give you inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment. You'd have to drug test frequently, possibly go to AA or NA classes, all sorts of things. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to do all of those things?
Yes.
Have you ever been on probation before?
Yes, ma'am. One time.
For what kind of a case?
Possession of marijuana.
Misdemeanor case?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been on any sort of felony probation? Do you have anything else you want to tell the judge?
I'm not a distributor. I don't distribute drugs. This is my first time ever trying to do that, and I was just trying to support my habit.
I'm sorry, one more question. I think the PSI says something about you think that they thought you could have made better choices. Who are you talking about when you said they?
The people that was affected by my actions.
Okay, what about you? Do you think you could have made better choices?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions. And stay silent, do they?
They have they're allowed to present questions if it's regarding facts.
Yes.
On the date of your arrest, you were by yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
So your girlfriend wasn't involved in this.
No, sir.
And then you were in possession of 130 fentanyl pills.
No.
Well, the police report says that S1 advised me that he was trying to sell 130 fentanyl pills.
The one I seen said 100. With the police report I read said 100.
Nothing to say.
All right. So I'm assuming in your thought process, you had to get pills from somewhere to be able to sell them, or did you make them in a lab?
I don't make drugs.
So you had to get them from somewhere.
Found them when I was walking to the store.
Oh, you're saying you just found them on the ground?
Yes, no, like somebody dropped them and I found them.
Oh, then how did you know they were fentanyl?
Searched up what was on them on my phone, and they didn't come back for 15 pills.
All right, so you're saying somebody just dropped fentanyl pills on the ground. That's your story.
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything else?
Just argument, Judge.
All right, court will hear argument.
Judge, Mr. McDaniel is 23 years old. He has very limited criminal history. I understand this is a very serious offense. However, he is highly motivated to do anything and everything on probation if given the opportunity. And this isn't a case of a hardened drug dealer, of a person who, you know, has been selling for years and years. This is a new user, a new dealer. Unfortunately, the first time he sells to an undercover cop, and he deserves a chance to show that he can change. He deserves a chance at rehabilitation. He deserves a chance to turn his life around. And that's all we're asking for.
All right. The court is going to find you guilty. Court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with County Court 14, cause number 726688. Take in consideration County Court cause number 726689, 726690, 2024 CR 4841. And the complainant is saying that she wants her deductible for the vehicle that he hit.
Yes.
And that is in,
500.
yes, $500. And let me see which cause number that is in. All right. There's to be restitution of $500 to Roxanne Pereira and cause number 726689. With regards to Escalante Javier, the court does not have any restitution in the PSI report, so the court is not ordering restitution in that. The court will note that this PSI has been pending since July, so person would have had time to give a proposed restitution amount. All right. And I'll order the therapeutic community. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney, and I'll retain jurisdiction.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Monica Guerrero, are you ready on your case? Yes. Trying to find. And Ms. Giovinco,
Yes.
you better show me something.
Yes, Judge. Judge, can I get a quick signature on this?
Yes.
Fortunately not. And
All
it's for a multi-count, so he still got indicted.
Oh,
Just let's treat.
right, there you are. Thanks.
You know that, but that won't happen.
All right, I'm sorry, what's your client's name?
Alberto Natividad Hernández.
All right, she's asking for a continuance because he has surgery.
This paperwork she showed me doesn't have his name.
It has his signature on the back, Judge. It doesn't have it on the front, but it does have his signature on the back. Okay, just.
And what is the treatment for?
If you can ask him, Judge, he told me it's something with his back, but I don't want to elaborate.
I got in an accident and I got a pork disc damages and two vertebrae.
2 vertebrae.
All right, do we need Do you have any objection to the continuance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do we need an interpreter for him?
No, ma'am.
He speaks English.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go on the record in 2024 CR 4387, State of Texas versus Alberto Hernandez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
And I'll say,
Defense?
Monica Guerrero for Mr. Hernandez.
And are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea on July 18th to count 1 of no contest, count 2 of no contest. You applied for community supervision. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty in each count, and the court found you guilty in count 1 and count 2. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
I'm not, Your Honor.
All right, defense?
I have.
Yes.
Defense, do you have any objection to the PSI report?
I do not, so long as you have the supplemental on the back showing the correction for the ag robbery and with the ag assault and the robbery. The robbery was reduced to a misdemeanor and the aggravated assault was dismissed.
Yes.
So he doesn't have those felonies in the calculation for felonies and misdemeanors.
All right. All right. State, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any witnesses?
I do not, Judge.
All right, then the court will hear argument. State, you are, according to the plea bargain agreement, you're asking that punishment be assessed at 8 years in the prison, and you're opposing his application for community supervision.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed.
Briefly, Your Honor, very brief, you've read the stipulations, you know the facts of the case, and you've seen the PSI. I draw attention to his criminal history, specifically the transporting and moving aliens, knowing said aliens enter or remain in the United States contrary to law, all done for the purpose of commercial gain, advantage, and private financial gain. in the United States District Court of West Indies, Texas.
All right, defense?
And Judge, I'm gonna call your attention to look at, if you look at his criminal history, although it sounds like it's a lot, it really, it's not that much. And that case from the feds was in 2006, which was his last time of really being in trouble. We're now in 2024, it's 18 years later. If you read the PSI, you can see, well, he accepts responsibility, but he's telling me that it was not, as it appears, he was not coming down to San Antonio, that he was in fact having communication, but he felt he was role playing with an adult. I'm asking the court to consider giving him probation as opposed to sending him to prison and giving him the maximum probation so that this court will have plenty of time to ensure that he receives treatment and that he complies with everything, because I've told him that in this court, it is dangerous for him to get probation because you will give him a chance and you will give him an opportunity, but if he messes up, he will have to pay. So I want the court to be able to have that leash over him, so to speak, so that he can comply with any regulations and treatment that the court would deem necessary in this type of case.
Right, I don't understand how he thought it was role play when the images were not of an adult.
Apparently, what he discloses to me is that he's had relationships with adult women that pretend to be younger and send images like that, but that are actually older than him or his age.
All right, so I don't have any legal proof of that. I don't have any text messages that show that. Okay. All right, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, then, the court is gonna not deny your application. Court will find you, as previously stated, the court found you guilty of count 1 and count 2. In count 1, the court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison. This will run concurrent with count 2, and the court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
So, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney?
This one that you sent.
Yes, ma'am.
I just gave you a copy.
Did you understand it and sign it?
Yeah.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. And counsel, I did have the supplemental.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Norma, which page is Hernandez on?
Yeah.
Who's here on? Yvette Martinez, are you ready to proceed? Oh, I'm so sorry. Glenn, if you'll speak to the state, because that witness is supposed to be zooming in. So when you all are ready for them to zoom in? Okay. No problem. As soon as they zoom in, we'll take it up. Isaac Chavez. And you say this is still going to be a contested? All right, then just give us a moment because they have somebody zooming in that I have to take. Yes, yes. All right, who's here on Jay Juarez?
If I put this up here.
No, that's fine. All right, on this, what are we here for?
This
Motion
is-
to revoke?
No, this is a restitution, to add restitution to the case.
State, are you ready to proceed on the restitution hearing?
I don't know, Your Honor, because Mr. Basile has.
I have a legal issue.
Argument.
Yes.
All right, Your Honor, my argument is that the court took up this case on May 7th, 2024, granted a deferred adjudication. At that time, the order states there's zero restitution on the court's order, the written order. And also in the conditions of probation, it doesn't have any amount. It has to be determined, doesn't have any amount on there. This notice requesting it, that I'm seeing in the printout, was filed on June 12th. It's my argument that that order that was issued by the court on March 7th became final. 30 days later, that was a final order. And since under case law I've researched and found, and I can give you the sites, the courts consider restitution to be part of the sentencing. And it's my order to proceed on would be a violation of his due process, considering that as a final order by this court. And the court cannot change that. There also the court cases I've read from the Court of Criminal Appeals says the court cannot go back and order restitution if there wasn't restitution originally ordered or a restitution hearing that was set up to determine later.
All right, so a restitution hearing was set up on June 25th, 2024.
I didn't see that on the printout I got from Odyssey.
Okay, Odyssey is,
Well, there's
Incorrect.
June 25th, that's correct.
yeah,
But
June
but the
25th.
supplemental report submitting, asking for it was filed on June 12th. So there was not a request, there was a request on June 12th to set it, which is more than 30 days after this court sentencing. That sentencing order became final after 30 days.
All right, so then honestly, what the issue is that the judgment that was issued is not a correct judgment. And let me explain to you why it's not a correct judgment. When I accepted the plea bargain agreement, I sentenced him to $2,000 fine probated, 200 hours of community service restitution. He was either obtained his GED or a certificate from a trade school, and the community service hours were deemed satisfied. Took into consideration County Court 12 cause number. And then I ordered that there was restitution to Kenyana Warner in 708710. And that was ordered on the record. So the problem is the judgment is incorrect. And there needs to be a correction of the judgment. I mean, we can't stay with an incorrect judgment.
It was still being argued that that judgment is final, and I bet
Okay.
I can give you the case law.
No, I understand what your case law is, and I understand what you're saying. So everybody step back. All right, thank you.
They didn't ask if I could be excused.
Yes, you can be excused. Thank you. Yes. All right, that's Octavio Rendon. All right, thank you. All right, are you all ready? Court is calling 2023 CR 1876, State of Texas versus Yvette Martinez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel, for the state of Texas.
Defense? I'm sorry, for the defense?
Glenn Payne.
And are you Yvette Martinez?
Yes.
All right, she entered a plea of true to violation of 14M. And there are some other violations in the report that the state waived, but the court had concern about. And it has to do with testing and what is happening with that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you have a witness here?
Yes, Judge, the state reached out to Lifesaver. They were able to provide someone from the court that was on video.
All right, any objection to this witness appearing by Zoom?
No, Judge.
All right, Mr. Rendon, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Octavio Rendon.
Any questions?
The court was the one that wanted to have answers just.
Yes.
Going on.
All right, so here's the problem. The problem is I keep receiving these reports. There are skip tests. She's saying that there's an issue with the machine and it's not with her. So we're trying to figure out what's going on with that. Because according to the report I received, she has 77 skip tests from December 13th, 2023 to June 10th, 2024. And it states that those skip tests have been discussed, but defense and I believe Ms. Martinez are saying it's an issue with the machine. It's not her. Yes.
Are you waiting for Mr. Rendon?
Oh, sure. Or if you have something to add, you're more than welcome to add it.
Judge, I just wanted to draw the court's attention. The 77 tests over many months.
Mhm.
As you can see on that MTR, there'd be 12 tests here or 10 tests there.
Mhm.
I also want to draw the court's attention. I mean, that she tests 3 times a day.
Mhm.
And all the other tests, they were not positive.
Mhm.
It was just that these were tests. Now, I guess, does the court just want to inquire to Mr. Don if
Well, I
a
wanna-
machine can be defective?
No, I'm trying to understand, why do we have these skip tests? I think when y'all were here last time, people said they had an explanation for the skip test. Am I remembering incorrectly?
Yes, Judge, I mean, what we said was that the machine, and Mr. Rendon, I guess you can see this, is this your machine?
Yes, sir.
And I, just so you can see it. Judge, I spoke to my client, and this is a new machine that she received just after the 4th of September. And when she was talking to a troubleshooter, basically, they said that the power.
Well,
cord-
I mean, he's here to answer some questions. So if you have some questions, what she's saying, what somebody else said, that's all hearsay. If you have questions for him about power cords or whatever, then you all can ask him.
Well, Judge, I believe what my client, I mean, is the court inquiring? Or,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm trying to figure out what is going on. She is on probation for intoxication assault. I know that y'all only pled true to 14M, and 14M is she failed to register or attend the DWI intervention program. All right, so the reason why I'm inquiring about this, because she failed to attend that. She needed to attend that. She didn't. Whatever y'all agreement have, I need answers about this. Otherwise, for her failing to do that, maybe she needs to go to prison. I don't know. Maybe she needs something else. I don't know. So, Mr. Rendon, question him. What is up with this device? Why is there's an issue with this device?
Mr. Rendon, I guess let me inquire to what your specifics are in your job. I didn't call you as a witness, so I'm not familiar with you, sir. Can you
Yes,
please
sir.
tell me-
So my title is Business Development Manager. I recently acquired that title. Beforehand, I'm a field operations manager for the company since 2017. And I've actually started with LifeSafer since 2011. So I've been working here. I know the device, I know the data. I've been doing this for a while.
So are you familiar with these type of devices and
Yes, sir.
troubleshooting these devices?
Yes, sir.
Okay, have you had to troubleshoot these devices before?
Occasionally. So the device relies on um, like a cellular network, and a lot of times our defendants or clients can go outside of cellular coverage. When this happens, we are bound to help the customer to repair the device so we can get the data back, which we do occasionally. And if the test is missed and the client's actively missing the test, the device will register a refusal, and it will register a GPS location as to where the device is. So just given, is there a particular date that we're questioning as far as missed test, or just all of the missed tests in general?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to get at is, this is a machine and runs on a battery, correct?
Correct.
And it can be plugged in, and batteries ever go bad in these machines, like our cell phones and everything else, that batteries go bad?
Bad would be a term that I don't think exhausted. That may be, you use your cell phone all the time. I may have to recharge my phone a couple of times a day, but as bad, I don't think that's a correct term for it.
Have you ever had to replace the machine for a battery or a bad charger or anything simple like we have to do with all the devices in our life?
I've had to replace devices for a broken port when the customer forces the USB into the side of the device and it breaks that port.
Okay, so thank you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Now, are you familiar with Miss Yvette Martinez's case at all?
I have her information in front of me.
Okay,
After-
is this the device that she has now? Can you tell whether it has been replaced?
Correct.
It was replaced?
It was replaced on the 3rd of September.
What
As
was the
reason why we may do it, if the client is inquiring that they want a new device, then we're bounded to give them a replacement at that point. That does not mean that the device is bad, that does not mean that there's something wrong with the unit. It just means that at that time, if the client inquired or if the court inquired, we are able to replace the device if necessary.
Has that device been run a diagnostic on it, the old device?
No. So once we receive a device that is shipped back to a manufacturer in Cincinnati, Ohio, but the data from the device is real time. So all we can see is what happened prior to the device being exchanged and what happened after the device was exchanged.
So you have all the data there present?
Correct.
So can you send that to the court so that we can review it?
Yes, sir. Am I gonna be sending that to Mr. Escobar?
Yes, you can spin it to Escobar.
So Judge, with him sending the information over, I'd like to have time to review it,
Sure.
to have to reset to review the case before court passes judgment.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you bring this back on September 16th?
And Judge, for the record, I have the DW education program slip that my client should have submitted to the court.
All right, if you'll give it to probation.
We'll do that.
All right, we'll see you back on that date.
You say the 16th, Judge?
Yes.
Oh, it's Monday. Okay, that's easy.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rendon.
We're gonna have
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Mr. Rendon, can you appear by Zoom on the 16th?
Correct.
All right, thank you. It'll be the
Thank you.
same Zoom link.
No
Judge,
problem.
set this for a specific time since we have a witness coming in at Zoom. Do you want to do it in the afternoon?
No, we can do it at 9. If everybody's here at 9 and he's ready to go at 9, we'll pick it up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. All right, and then, yes, Doug Campbell. Are you all ready to proceed?
Yeah.
State, are you ready to proceed on Isaac Chavez?
Are you ready?
Yes.
Isaac.
Court is calling 2024 CR 1943, State of Texas versus Isaac Chavez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Doug Campbell for the defense, ready?
And are you Isaac Chavez? Are you the same Isaac Chavez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2024 CR 1943 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 2, 4 to 200 grams on April 15, 2024 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
On or about the 22nd day of June 2024 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Isaac Chavez committed the offense of evading arrest or detention of the vehicle in violation of condition number 1. Your Honor, do you want me to read all of these and then allow Mr. Chavez to give his plea in
All right.
total or each one individually?
All right. Let me ask Mr. Chavez, with regards to the alleged violations of conditions, there's a violation of condition number 1, 2, 8A, 14C, 14Z, and number 34. Are you pleading true or not true to those allegations?
Not true.
To all of the allegations within the motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Then the defendant is pleading true to violations 1, 2, 8A, 14C, 14Z, and 34. All right, state, do you have witnesses?
Yes, Your
All right, state, you can call your first witness.
Honor. He calls Angeline Nicholas.
All right, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Anjali Nicholas.
All right, state.
Ms. Nicholas, how are you currently employed?
Fair County Adult Probation.
And what do you do with Bear County Adult Probation?
Supervise cases and.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear.
Sorry. I supervise cases, make sure that they're following the conditions and.
There is a microphone in front of you. If you would put it up, using the microphone so the reporter can hear you.
Sorry.
Do you supervise a person named Isaac Chavez?
I do.
Is that Isaac Chavez with Bear Sid 1158016?
What was the, so?
1158016?
Yes.
And do you see that Isaac Chavez in the court today?
I do. Yes. Right, yes.
Could you point him out so the court by an article of clothing?
Gray dress shirt.
Thank you. When did Mr. Chavez begin his supervision?
April 15th, 2024.
Now, on June 22nd of 2024, did Mr. Chavez make an admission to you regarding his use of alcohol?
On June 24th of 2024, that's when I met with him, but he did admit that it happened on June 22nd, yes.
And when you say it happened, you mean that he consumed alcohol?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Chavez had a number of conditions of his supervision. Among them was to complete one AA meeting per day for 60 days.
Yes.
According to your supervision of Mr. Chavez, how many AA meetings per day did he complete?
It was more so one per week.
And how many in total?
8.
Did Mr. Chavez provide proof of employment or SSI within 30 days of his release?
No.
Has he provided any proof of employment?
No.
Did he register for or attend a drug offender education program?
No, no verification has been provided.
Now, did you give him a referral for a drug offender education program?
Yes.
Did he provide any documentation that he registered for it or attended?
No.
Did Mr. Chavez at any point provide proof of residence?
No.
Passage, Your Honor.
Defense.
Ms. Nicholas, were you aware that Chavez was living at 8603 Cape Valley?
Yes, he let me know that he was living there.
What more proof would you need than his word if he was living with a parent or somebody else?
You said what more than his word?
Mhm.
Usually, if they're living with parents, the parents need to write a letter stating that he's living there with a proof of one of their bills.
Did you tell him that?
I don't recall.
Did you ever go out there to see if there was any proof that he was living there?
No.
With respect to the once per day for 60-day Alcoholics Anonymous classes, are you sure he was aware of that?
Yes.
How are you sure he's aware of that?
His conditions were read to him in court, actually, by the CLO.
And at the time he went on probation, he was 19 years old.
I believe so.
Have you ever, in your dealings with Mr. Chavez, had the thought that perhaps he might be a little bit immature?
I mean, yes.
And as a result, do you think that maybe he didn't fully comprehend what was being told to him?
I wouldn't say didn't fully comprehend what was being told. It's just maybe more so of kind of just taking his time with it. I mean, I'm sure he fully comprehended what was needing to be done.
as a now 20-year-old, he probably has a little bit more sense of urgency on needing to get these done, especially since we're here in court, right?
Yes.
Were you aware that he was working at Willie's?
Yes.
And you say he never gave you proof. What steps did you take to try to verify that he's working at Willie's?
We normally ask for proof of employment.
Did you discuss that with him?
Discussed it, yes. I didn't document it though, if I'm being honest.
Did you tell him, hey, when you really need proof?
I didn't make it an urgency thing.
Okay. And then with respect to his drug offender class, having dealt with 20-year-olds before, and certainly somebody who lives with a parent at 20, do you think maybe he was waiting for you to do something? No, you think he was fully aware that he needed to take that extra step and set up the class himself?
Yes, because we provide the verification, let them know like, hey, go through the list, figure out where you're gonna go and register. That responsibility is totally on him.
Okay. And you say that Isaac had admitted to using alcohol as a 20-year-old to you. Do you think he benefits from perhaps some additional classes on the dangers of alcohol and drugs?
Yes.
Do you think, now there was a report written for the court, right?
Yes,
Did you write that report?
most of it.
Most of it? Do you agree with the recommendation for this particular person?
No, not necessarily. For the younger probationers, I tend to be a little bit more compassionate, give chances, hope that they'll learn better. So I wouldn't say no.
Do you think Isaac should have another chance at trying to be successful on his community supervision?
Yes.
Why do you believe that?
Like I said, I just try to give a little bit more compassion to the younger ones because they're a little more respectfully hard-headed, and it takes them a little more tries to get it right.
That's especially true with male defendants or
I would say
clients, I
all of
guess.
the younger ones.
Yeah.
I wouldn't specifically say no, all of the younger ones.
Okay. Do you think he can be successful now that he knows how serious this is?
Yes,
Why do you believe that?
this is his second MTR, I believe, right? I think at this point, we know to be serious.
All right, it's his first MTR.
First, in this case.
In this case, yes, sorry.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Any other questions?
Yes, officer, do you have a copy of the court summary in your hand?
Yes.
Can you please turn to page 3?
Yes.
Underneath the field marked justification, there is a signature line that says community supervision officer. Is your signature above that line?
Yes.
Would you please read the recommendation that is above that signature line?
It says revoke, no offenses and non-compliance.
And below that is justification. Would you please read the justification?
The probationer bonded out on new offenses, and he has not reported to probation since bonding out. The probationer has not shown a valid effort to comply.
Now, as part of your duties, is it your responsibility to proactively investigate the information that a probationer is required to produce to you?
Yes.
Yes. So, for instance, if a probationer is required to produce proof of employment, are you obligated to go out to his potential employer and get proof yourself, or is he responsible for providing it to you?
Oh, he's responsible for providing it. We don't go out to the employers. I can always ask the field team to do that, but they're responsible for providing verification.
And for proof of residence, it's the probationer's responsibility to provide that proof to you, correct?
Yes.
And for proof of attendance at Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, it's the probationer's responsibility to provide that proof to you, right?
Correct.
Same for registration and attendance at a drug offender education program. It's their responsibility to provide proof, not yours, right?
Correct.
So on or about the 24th day of June 2024, did Isaac Chavez provide proof of residence as required in the condition 8A?
No.
On or about the 24th day of June 2024, did Isaac Chavez provide verification of Alcoholics Anonymous meetings as directed by the court, as required by condition number 14C?
No, those are, no.
On or about the 24th day of June 2024, did Isaac Chavez provide proof of registration for or attendance of a drug offender education program as required by condition number 14Z?
No.
On or about the 24th day of June 2024, did Isaac Chavez show proof of employment or SSI within 30 days of release as required by condition number 34?
No.
Is Mr. Chavez prohibited from consuming alcohol under the terms of his supervision?
Yes.
Is that under condition number 2?
Yes.
Did Isaac Chavez admit to consuming alcoholic beverages to you?
Yes.
Did he admit that he consumed alcohol on or about the 22nd day of June 2024?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
Oh, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. State, call your next witness.
He calls Officer Ramos.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
I recently got married, so technically my name is Brianna Gonzalez.
I
So-
object.
Yes, so.
All right.
I know my name still says, I just got married on the 9th, so.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, state.
How are you currently employed?
I'm employed as a police officer with the Leon Valley Police Department
And how long have you been employed with the Leon Valley Police Department?
since March of this year.
And what is your current assignment?
I'm a patrol officer for the city of Leon Valley.
On June 22nd, 2024, what was your assignment?
Just regular patrol duties as a patrol officer.
And are you assigned to night or day?
At that time, I was assigned to days.
On June 22nd, 2024, at approximately 7 a.m., were you dispatched to a particular incident?
I was dispatched to what I believe was a welfare check, what it came up as on the CAD system, to go check on, or I'm sorry, that was your question, yes.
Yes. And the location to which you were dispatched, that was in Bear County?
Yes,
And when you arrived at the dispatch location, what's your?
I observed a car on Huebner Road, just on the street. The light was green, but the car was parked, or it seemed to be parked. I don't know if the driver's foot was on the brake or if it was in park, but they were stalled in the middle of the road as if they were parked.
And can you briefly describe this vehicle?
The vehicle was a Lexus, 4-door vehicle.
Do you remember what color it was?
I don't, I know it's on my report. I put it down. Was I supposed to have that with me? Sorry.
That's okay. So upon seeing this vehicle, what did you do?
Well, because of the notes in the system, I activated my red and blue lights and I got behind the vehicle to initiate a traffic stop.
Did you get out of the vehicle, out of your vehicle?
I did not get out of my vehicle at that time, no.
And what reaction, if any, did the operator of that Lexus have to you activating your patrol vehicle's emergency overhead lights?
Initially, the operator of that vehicle did nothing. When my partner got out of the car, along with another officer that also pulled up to that traffic stop, they both got out of the car. I was about to get out of the car, but then the vehicle suddenly drove forward and it stopped in the middle of the intersection of Huebner and Bandera Road.
What happened next?
What happened after that is we all got back in our vehicles. We both got closer to the vehicle. Then we tried to get out again. I stayed in my car at that point. I didn't get out. And again, the two officers, the one in my vehicle and the other officer, got out to try to make contact with that person again, and that vehicle fled and evaded. So at that point, I told dispatch that I had a vehicle evading arrest.
And at that point, what did you do?
At that point, dispatch asked if I was in pursuit. I said no. So I was still behind the stopping point for that road. So I abided traffic laws and I waited for that light to turn green. That way I could turn.
Now, a short while later, did another officer communicate to you that they had detained the vehicle?
It wasn't communicated, it was observed. Because I could see it. It wasn't very far at all.
Okay. Was this vehicle the same vehicle that you earlier observed and that sped away from you?
Yes.
What did you do upon relocating?
Upon relocating to that vehicle?
Yes.
Oh, well, again, my lights were already off. So all I did was, as soon as the light turned green, I turned left onto Bandera Road and I got next to because my other officer, he had initiated a second traffic stop. He initiated his red and blue lights again on the same vehicle, and I stopped with that officer to try to initiate contact again.
And did you initiate contact with the operator of the vehicle?
Yes, eventually, because again, the other officer made that second traffic stop technically, and then we took him into custody at that point.
Did you identify the operator of that vehicle?
Yes,
How did you identify?
we asked him for his name eventually.
And what did he say?
He said his name was Isaac Chavez.
Did he provide a state issued ID of any kind?
I don't recall.
Did he give you a date of birth?
He had to have, yes.
Let's not operate under assumptions.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Do you see the operator of that vehicle in court today?
Yes, I do.
Would you please point him out to the court by an article of clothing?
He's in black pants and a gray dress shirt.
Now, after you detained him and began to interact with him, what observations, if any, did you make?
He appeared to be intoxicated.
Did you observe the odor of alcohol emitting from his breath?
Yes.
Did he admit to consuming alcohol?
Yes.
How much alcohol did he claim that he had consumed?
Initially, he claimed that he only had one drink, but upon further questioning, I asked him, okay, what did you drink? And he said he drank Modelo and Smirnoff, so it didn't make any sense.
Did you make any other observations about his physical appearance?
Yes,
What observations were those?
he appeared to have urinated on himself.
Is that the only other observation that you made about his physical appearance?
Other than his glossy red eyes, he appeared to have soiled himself and the odor of alcohol on his breath. No, that was about it.
Did you ask Mr. Chavez to submit to standard sobriety tests?
Yes.
And what was his response?
His response was he wanted to speak to a supervisor first.
Did you call the supervisor?
I did.
And did that supervisor appear?
Yes.
Did that supervisor speak with Mr. Chavez?
Yes.
And after speaking with that supervisor, did Mr. Chavez submit to standard sobriety tests?
No, he refused.
At that point, what did you do?
We formally told him he was under arrest for evading and DWI, and we read him his rights, and from there we transported him back to our police department.
Okay, thank you. Pass the witness.
Officer, would you agree with me that all things in life are a matter of perspective?
Not all things.
How can you be sure that Mr. Chavez saw the lights when you were behind him?
How can I be sure?
Mhm.
I mean, He's not legally blind as far as I know, so they're really hard to miss, so I can't be sure, but any reasonable person, even intoxicated, could have seen those lights.
And he pulled over immediately when the other car stopped him, right?
Well, he was actually already stopped at the red light, so he didn't technically pull over, but he didn't make any further attempts to flee at that point.
Right, and I guess that's my point. If he was just, based on what you're saying, he was asleep in the intersection, right? If he's just waking up, we're not sure he even knew you were there, right?
His eyes were open when I saw him.
Did he recognize you? Can you say that he recognized you?
I could say that he could have recognized a police officer in a police car with their lights on, yes.
Should have, but there's a chance that he didn't, right?
I'm sure, yes, there's a chance.
And during your interactions with Isaac, was he cooperative for the most part?
For the most part, yes.
And he courteous
For the most part, yes.
and compliant? Once he was stopped, right?
Completely compliant, but the other questions.
Okay. And you don't know what his blood alcohol level was because you don't have the labs back yet, do you?
Well, he didn't consent to blood, actually. He initially did and then didn't, but he had a blood draw, so no, I don't know what those results are.
So you can't say with certainty that he was intoxicated.
No, I can't.
Thank you, I'll pass.
When you spoke with Mr. Chavez, did he slur his words?
Yes.
Did he stutter?
Stuttering, I don't recall, but slurring, yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
No further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State, any other witnesses?
That's all, Your Honor.
I'll call Isaac Chavez.
All right, Isaac Chavez. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Isaac Chavez.
All right, defense.
Thank you. Isaac, we've already identified you as the same guy who's on deferred adjudication for possession case, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell the court what was going on June 22nd this year?
The day I was
Yeah.
stopped. Oh yes, I was at a friend's house. It was just supposed to be a normal hangout, but he ended up inviting other friends. I do admit that I did have alcohol, but I was peer pressured. I was trying not to at first, but just to fit in, I fit in.
Now, just to be clear, you're 20 years old, right?
19 at the time.
19, okay. And despite all of that, you understand that it's illegal for you to drink alcohol when you're under 21 in the state of Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
And despite all of that, you told your probation officer that you were drinking, right?
Yes, sir.
And did you see the police officer who was behind you in the intersection over in Leon Valley?
Not the person.
If you did, what would have happened?
I would have put over immediately.
And that you didn't try to run off when the second officer stopped you, right?
No.
I'm going to ask you a question. I told you I needed you to think about this. Why do you think the court should continue you on deferred adjudication?
Truthfully, it's just I do acknowledge that I made a mistake. I acknowledge that I was irresponsible. But truthfully, for the past 3 years, I've been completely sober. I've been working honest jobs, helping with my family, my grandfather. Honestly, I was on the straight road. I was doing everything right. I don't believe.
Let's focus on some of the other violations that they've alleged. You've already told the judge that you admitted to drinking, that you did drink. Why didn't you ever provide any proof of where you were living to your probation officer?
I didn't necessarily know how. I told her where I lived and I had my ID. I didn't really know what more proof was needed.
And the 8603 Cape Valley address is on your ID?
Yes.
And they looked at that every time you went in, right?
Yes.
So you felt like you complied there?
Yes.
There's another allegation that you failed to go to Alcoholics Anonymous every day for 60 days. Did you understand that that was one of the requirements of your community supervision?
I did.
Why didn't you go every day?
I did actually go every day. I have the proof in my cell phone. I have the email sent to my probation officer. I have about 56 of them of every day that I went.
So do you take issue with the fact that she only testified that you went once a week?
I do, yes.
What did you learn, if anything, at the Alcoholics Anonymous meetings?
So let me just stop you. Where is the proof of this?
Judge, I don't have it. It's in his cell phone. I can't. I'm
Oh,
not
where's the
gonna-
cell phone? Did anybody look through his cell phone?
I did not, because I asked him to print them.
All right, you all want to step back and state, you can look through his cell phone and see if there's actually documentation that he did it, and I'm sure if he did it and it's proof there, maybe the state will waive the,
Well, it's just one, Judge. I got other ones I still got to address.
I know, but step back, let's see if he actually did that. All right. Johnny Tejeda? All right, we're here for,
A motion to revoke, Your Honor.
all right. Is this going to be a plea true or is it going to be contested?
It's a true plea of truth.
Okay,
We have a recommendation for the court's consideration.
all right. Court is calling 2022 CR 7806, State of Texas versus Johnny Tejeda. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Danny West, welcome to the state of Texas.
Defense?
Alex Shar for Johnny Tejeda.
Are you Johnny Tejeda?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Johnny R. Tejeda who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 7806 for the offense of failure to stop and render aid death on February 9, 2023 for a term of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, state?
Violated condition number 1, on or about the 15th day of July, 2023. In Dare County, Texas, defendant Johnny R. Tejeda committed the offense of drugs while intoxicated in violation.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
Your Honor, state waives all the violations.
All right, any objection to the waivers?
No objections, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 10 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, the proposed agreement is for the pleas for DWI.
No, it has not been completed yet.
Sorry about that.
That's right.
The defendant has entered his head status with a martini following after Saturday.
That is our agreement, Judge. I do have some witnesses to give you some context.
Yes.
And so at this time, if I may, Your Honor, I'd like
Yes.
to call Daniel Garcia.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Daniel Garcia.
All right, defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Garcia, what do you do for a living?
I'm medically retired from the Navy,
Okay, how long were you in the Navy?
13 years.
All right, and but when did you get out of the Navy? What
I got
year?
out in 2013, medical retired.
Okay, all right. Now, do you know Johnny Tejeda?
Okay.
And you recognize him as the client that's in the orange jumpsuit,
Yes.
correct? All right. Tell the judge how you met Mr. Tejeda.
We met each other through cars, rental old cars.
Mhm.
And then I had a house come up for rent. So I had asked him if he knew anybody that wanted to rent a house, which he said that he would.
because he was on a hard time, so I went to the house to him, and that's kind of how we met. We got
How,
into the-
and how long ago was that?
That was about a year and a half ago, maybe a year and 3/4 now.
Okay. Did you know him prior to doing that? Like, how long have you known Johnny?
For about 3 years total now.
Okay. Are you just his landlord, or is there a closer relationship?
He's like a brother to me. We're supposed to start a business, for doing custom paint,
Mhm.
and
Okay. When you met him, what was your judgment of his
so when I first moved
character?
in, he was really sad and angry. Um, over the time, I started talking to him and found out more about him, and then we started hanging out more. Usually he comes to the house, and then he'd go back.
Okay.
And he's just totally different from a year and a half ago to now.
Okay. Now, are you aware that he was placed on probation in February of 2023 for a failure to stop and render aid that caused a death?
No, at that time I didn't know any of that.
Okay. But when you did meet him, how did that happen?
Well, like I said, when I asked him that I have a house up for rent, he said he moved in, and I didn't know anything about that. But usually I'm a good judge of character, and I let him move in. I'm not gonna let him move into a house somebody destroyed.
Okay, and how was he as a tenant?
Good. I mean, if he was a bad person, I wouldn't have him in there. I would have kicked him out a long time ago.
Okay, so what is it about Mr. Tejeda that helped you come to a conclusion about his character? That he's a good guy.
It's kind of hard to explain because I mean I met a lot of people in the military, and he's a good person. It's kind of hard to explain, but
Well, can you try to explain it? Like, and give the judge some
he's always been there
examples?
for me because I'm a single parent with 3 kids, and when my significant other left about a year ago, he was there for me, and we kind of helped each other out through the hard times that we're going through.
What do you mean help each other out?
We'll just talk, basically. I don't drink. I'm taking care of 3 kids on my own. So he'd come over and we just hang out. He doesn't really talk to anyone, but a couple of people.
Okay, and the people that he was hanging around before you two started getting into a closer relationship, how would you characterize those people?
Uh, um, there's another way to say dirt bags, I guess. I don't know how to say it.
Okay,
People that I wouldn't hang out with.
okay, that's fine. I mean, dirt bags, that's.
So I got my friends, my other friends that I hang out with, they're one used to work in the movie industry. Another guy is works for the AC, so they all got stuff going for themselves. We're building cars. So when he started hanging out with me, and he told me the guys that he used to hang out with, I don't hang out with people like that, so I don't know how else to say it.
Okay, well, all right, so I mean, did you take on the role of like a close friend or father
No,
figure?
more like a brother.
Okay.
He started coming hanging out with us, and we're a real tight group. It's only like 3 or 4 of us that hang out together. And if he was any different, he would have kicked us out. Would have kicked him out.
Okay, how would you describe his work ethic?
He's always busy. I know he has a lot of cars coming in,
Okay.
and we still have some more cars that need to be finished.
What kind of does he do body and paint? Does he do
Body and
engine?
paint, custom paint. Not so much engine, but pretty much body and paint.
All right. Please continue.
Okay. Okay, so, all right, so when you told the judge that you noticed a big change in him, can you give us some specifics as to like how he was before and how he is now?
Uh, before, he was always always in a bad mood, always depressed, I guess. And now he's always there. He's always just a real good guy. I don't know what's
Okay.
reliable.
Okay. Um, so like 3 years ago, when you met him, you noticed he had a lot of anger issues and depression.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, and have you seen any improvement in him?
Yes, I've seen a huge improvement from then to now.
Okay. The anger that you saw,
It's not there no more.
okay. And what about the depression? You're not an expert on that, but
Right.
just from your
No,
contact with him.
we're supposed to start a business. So I mean, if his mind wasn't in the right place, he wouldn't be the right person.
Okay, all right, so, okay, so this business that you were talking about, who would be funding the business? Would that be you?
Yes, I'll be funding the business.
All right, and would it be fair to say you trusted Johnny enough that
Yes,
you were gonna open a business with him as your main employee?
Yes, I trust him wholeheartedly.
Okay, all right. Now, you understand that in July of last year, Mr. Tejeda was involved in a driving while intoxicated as a second offense.
Well, I don't know about the first offense. The second offense, I want to pick them up from Bamsey.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about that. All right, so how did you find out that Johnny was in the hospital?
One of our friends told us that he got into an accident. So I went to go look for him at the jail, and then I got a call from his dad saying that he was at Bamsey. So I says, I'm retired, so I still went in and got him out of there on the Bamsey.
Okay, and could you tell he was injured?
Yeah, he was pretty banged up. As far as I know, it was his ribs and wrist, and that's so far as I know.
Okay. All right. In the event that the judge does follow the agreement and continues him on probation, and she is in an inpatient substance abuse alcohol rehabilitation center, which it could be for 6 or more months. Would you still be willing to go into business and continue mentoring Mr. Tejeda and treating him like a brother?
Yeah, still.
All right. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you wanted to tell the judge about Johnny?
No, I mean, he's a real good person. You know, I mean, if he wasn't, I would not try to be investing money into a business between me and him. There's no way.
Okay. Now, one thing I forgot to ask you about is after you picked him up from the hospital, were you upset at him?
Yes. So when I picked him up, I kind of talked some smack to him, told a couple of friends, and they kind of talked to him like, "What are you doing?" You know, I can't say what else.
Okay. Well, I mean, did you specifically tell him anything about the type of people that you hang around with?
Yes, I specifically told him that.
Right, so tell the
That
judge.
I don't bring people that are messing around into the people that I hang out with, because we have a lot going for us. Trying to do a lot of things here in San Antonio. I moved here from California back in 2013 on opening a business. And the issue is that I haven't met too many people here that I could trust with money wise. So when I met him, it just clicked. So I started bringing him around, and everybody agreed to what he's about.
All right, pass witness.
All right, any questions? All right, thank you. All right, so I can tell y'all, this is what's going to happen in this case. Either he's going to prison or he's going into inpatient treatment to safety. Those are your two choices.
Okay,
I'm not doing SATIF. He doesn't need SATIF. He needs something that is longer. He needs something longer, and that's safety. So he can do safety or he can do prison. Those are the choices.
as far as, can I just maybe give my 2 cents as to
Sure.
those choices? I respect the court's decision and appreciate that. As far as the substance abuse felony punishment facility, in talking to clients who have been there and how that program is designed, yes, it is long. Yes, it is in the prison system. But it's run not like an individual rehab or a group rehab where everyone is accountable for themselves, but it's run as, for lack of a better analogy, like the scene in the movie Full Metal Jacket, where one person makes a mistake and everybody else gets punished. And in my opinion, about recovery, I don't think that's the best way to impress upon someone, to change their, to get a psychic change in their mentality and to adopt, a spiritual full change in their attitude if they're being held responsible for what other people do. When the program is all about being responsible for yourself and only trying to control yourself, because that's all you can control. I understand the length of the program. I've had cases where people were finished with the program and then they go to a halfway house and they're living in San Antonio and they get sent to a halfway house in El Paso and there's no support group there. The substance abuse treatment facility, I know some of the people that work there. I know some of the people that work in recovery within the Bexar County system. They're good people. They teach the program and they do it well. And it can be anywhere from 4 to 6 months long, followed by aftercare. So that's a substantial amount of time. And so I'd ask the court to reconsider sending Mr. Tejeda to SATIF, reconsider sending him to SafeP instead of to the substance abuse treatment facility.
Okay. All right. He's going to safety or he's going to prison. And then as far as aftercare is concerned, he can speak to probation when they get to that point. And if you find a halfway house here in San Antonio for him to be in, preferably lifetime recovery, then he can go to lifetime recovery, and lifetime recovery can place him in a sober support facility.
You want to go, Mr. Tejeda, do you want to go into the substance abuse felony punishment facility? Or you just want to go to prison?
I'll go to the substance abuse.
SafeP.
Yeah.
All right, court will deny alternate amendment conditions to include safety. And probation, can we do safety followed by lifetime recovery?
Judge, the only issue with that is you would have to be exited from the continuum for safety.
All right. So once he's completed with safety in custody and they're getting ready to send him to a halfway house, just let the court know. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else?
I didn't know if you needed to sign a certificate of appeal or anything like
No,
that.
I do not. All right, thank you. Thank you.
Judge.
Yes.
Before you move into the next thing, I'm done for the day, so I just wanted to.
All right, bye-bye. So is this your, oh yeah, this is your last day. Well, congratulations on your new job. I know you will do great. I always tell people you bloom where you're planted. All right, well, congratulations. All righty. Dave Juarez, y'all want to come up? Who are you with? Yeah, what's your client's name? Chavez?
Isaac Chavez.
You guys want to come up? Isaac Chavez?
Absolutely. Judge,
exactly which ones. Some of them were on certification, the cases I was
All right,
telling the
if you
court I
want,
have sites for, so.
all right, if you want a chance to read that, you can, but from what I reviewed, it appears that I can give restitution in this case.
That's fine. I mean, I'll take exception to your ruling, Your Honor. I think.
Well, no, I mean, do you have some case law
Well, I have-
that addresses 42.037?
I have case law that, yeah, I can get you the sites. I have them here on my
Okay.
computer.
All right,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I can write them down and give you the sites.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome. All
Okay.
right, just step back. Miguel Naranjo Perez. Court is calling 2024 CR 3071, 2024 CR 3072, State versus Miguel Perez Naranjo. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
This
is Andarza for the defense, AMD RCA.
And are you Mr. Perez Naranjo?
Yes.
All right, we have an interpreter here. If you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you may lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
The interpreter's name is Jorge Valle.
All right. And counsel, do you speak Spanish?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And were you able to go over these documents with your client in Spanish?
Yes, we reviewed them in Spanish, Your Honor.
Mr. Perez, Perez Naranjo. All of the documents I'm going to review with you are in English. Were those explained to you in Spanish?
Yes.
Did you review the document entitled Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
We have received everything, Your Honor.
And each cause number, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Morano, and each cause number, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
State, I'm sorry, defense, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We waive your honor.
State, and each cause number, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Narano, did you review the documents and each cause number entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand in the cause number ending in 7-1, you're charged with violation of motor fuel tax requirements as a second-degree felony? And in the cause number ending in 7-2, you're charged with fraudulent possession or use of credit or debit card, 10 to 50 items as a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering these pleas, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in each of these cause numbers?
Yes.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
If for any, no problem, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine in each cause number.
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He's competent, Your Honor. He was saying the thing about it.
Mr. Navarano, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No. No.
Are you a resident?
Yes. Yes.
Counsel, did you inform your client of the consequences of entering a plea in this cause number as it relates to his immigration status?
Yes, Your Honor. In fact, the case was negotiated in a way that will, he has a way to still fix his papers after the first of that over.
Okay, I didn't hear what you said.
That, yes, we reviewed it and we pled it in a way that was recommended by the immigration attorney.
All right. And Mr. Navarano, were you informed by the immigration attorney that you could be deported and not allowed to re-enter the United States by entering into plea bargain agreements in each of these cause numbers?
Yes.
Were you explained by your immigration attorney that you could potentially be denied naturalization?
Yes.
Did you understand the consequences as it relates to your immigration status and entering into plea bargain agreements in this cause number?
Yes.
In each cause number, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. And each cause number, did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
In each cause number, your punishment is to be assessed at a $1,500 fine. Cases will run concurrently. State will take in consideration 2024 CR 3070. There's to be restitution to several individuals as well as Walmart. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
That is clear, yes.
State, is that the plea?
Yes.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counselor, are there been any such motions?
There's no motion.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 8 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 150 hours community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then in each cause number, how do you plea? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea.
State auditor, state civil and all.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you review the documents entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements, police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. Court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. All right, the court is going to order a TAP evaluation, and at that time, the court will make a decision on his application.
Thank you.
Probation, if we do a TAP evaluation, I'm sorry, is he out of custody or in custody?
He's out of custody.
All right, he's out of custody?
Judge, can I have 2 weeks?
Yes. Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this in I'll give you 3 weeks. Can you recall this in 3 weeks, please? All right, we'll be back on October 3rd. I'll make a decision on your application once I've received the TAP evaluation. Yes. Did you want a PSI as well or just a TAP evaluation?
Well, if the PSI will help you.
Oh, I just need a TAP evaluation.
Okay. Oh, that's fine.
All right, so it's just a TAP evaluation. All right, thank you. Just stay and probation will speak with you. All right, Doug Campbell, you ready on your client?
Again, yes. Yeah. Judge, we've had an opportunity to talk.
Mhm.
We've got an opportunity to talk about your 2 options.
Mhm.
And I think my client would like to take the local ISF,
Okay.
if that's an option.
All right, we're back on the record and cause number 2024 CR 1943, State Waive 14C without objection. Court is finding violations of condition number 2, the consumption of alcohol true. 14C, state waived it. 34, the court will find true. 14Z, the court will find true. 8A, the court will find true. Number 1, evading arrest or detention, the court will find true. Number 1, driving while intoxicated, the court will find not true. All right, probation, my understanding in this case, you're not recommending revocation? Oh, I'm sorry, they are recommending revocation. All right. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to deny the motion. Alter and amend conditions. To include probation. Since I'm denying the motion, do you recommend local ISF or state ISF? Because it appears we have alcohol issues as well.
Judge, so I did speak to defense counsel and I talked about ISF that is just going to address cognitive
However, if you do send him to state ISF, that you could order him to the substance abuse cognitive track.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's differences in the wait time in custody for both facilities, so that
Okay.
is something I think defense was gonna address.
Well,
Somehow,
sometimes that's punishment.
fair enough.
All right. So it's gonna be state ISF. And there's to be partial GPS for employment only upon release. And I'll ask that GPS fees be waived. Probation, is there anything else?
Judge, is that going to be through the jail?
Yes.
Thank you. I think that'll be it.
All right, all other conditions will remain.
Oh, Judge, I'm sorry. Is that substance abuse cognitive track?
Yes. All right, anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, we can go off the record. You better start doing better, otherwise you're going to prison. And let me just tell you what's going to happen in prison. It would be nice if you go to prison, everybody leaves you alone, you're just doing your time, but people are not going to be leaving you alone. You're young, you know? And I'm telling you truth. You're going to be sold for a pack of cigarettes or some extra dessert. That's what happens at the prison sometime. And this persona that you're giving me now, that's not going to help you at the prison. And maybe people will start fighting with you. Maybe sometimes somebody at the prison be like, I don't feel like fighting with him today. They may say, yeah, I feel like fighting with him today. And that's what you're going to be doing. And the fact that you're young and you're doing dumb stuff is not going to help you at the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, anyone else ready?
I'm printing out a copy of the film.
Okay. All right, you ready, counsel? And can I see the file on Miranda? Juan Miranda? Doug Campbell,
Yeah,
your firm still has somebody missing?
Judge, apparently he hasn't shown up.
No,
He was
so,
here this morning. He wasn't here this afternoon. We've been trying to contact him.
well,
That's
a
all I got.
warrant's gonna be issued because I had recalled this case from the other day because he didn't show.
Right.
So,
Okay. Well, if we can get him here tomorrow. Maybe he has a good explanation.
no,
I know. Anything else, Judge? Any
No.
excuse?
yes,
Can I go call my mom?
yeah, yes, you can.
Which I believe is the paper file.
I'm sorry, what?
I believe it's a paper file.
Oh, do I have it? Let me see. All right, let me show you what I have.
Thank you.
This is all I have. Some of that probably needs to come back to me to sign. All right, thank you. Thank you. Yes.
I did send both you, Mr. Powell, or, sorry, I was gonna say Powell. The
Yeah.
information.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
No, the only thing I have in front of me is Jay Morris. Who are you looking for?
I wanted to talk to you about this. Oh, sure.
You want to talk outside or you want to? Sure.
Can we?
Yes.
Yeah, she doesn't want to invite me.
Yeah.
eviction is final or the other deferred is different. I understand kind of as well.
So if you would like, I can make my ruling now for both parties. And from what I've read, I still have jurisdiction to order restitution. I don't know if y'all have agreed on a restitution amount, but what I can tell you all is that I'm not going to order her to go through her insurance if she
And-
doesn't want to go through her
And I
insurance.
agree with that, Your Honor. I researched that issue. That was an issue last time. I could not find any case law that says she has to do that.
All right.
The only case law I could find, if she did, then that's credit against his. I didn't find it required. I explained that to my client. So
So-
that is correct.
So then the question is, have you all agreed on an amount of restitution?
No, Your Honor.
No.
All right, if you all want to confer and see if you all can come up to an agreement on the amount of restitution, like I said, based upon my review of the case law, and I re-reviewed.
Yeah.
And based upon the article I gave you, I'm of the opinion that I do have the right to still order restitution. So we're just now at an amount what it should be. And I don't think anybody has to use their insurance if they want to be. So the restitution is not just her deductible. So
And I agree with on the insurance part, Your Honor. I'm not objecting that anymore. I researched that issue. On the other one, I'd just like to make on the record, so in case my client wants to do something, he'll have a record.
okay, so then let's do this. Let's see if you all can come up with an agreement on restitution amount. And then I'll allow you to put whatever arguments you want to put on the record so you can make your argument. All right, thank you. All right, everyone, just give me 2 minutes.
Well, I thought you were with Joseph.
All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 0092366W, State versus Thomas Henson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Harris, David.
Defense?
Attorney Alvarez for Mr. Henson, already, Your Honor.
All right. And does he also have a motion to revoke as well?
Yes, Judge. I don't know how the court wants to handle that.
All right. Well, we're going to do the motion to revoke first. The court is also calling 2022 CR 5859. All right. Are you Mr. Thomas Nathaniel Henson?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Thomas Nathaniel Henson who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 5859 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on September 15, 2022 for a term of 4 years? Is that you? All right, state.
Violated condition number 1 on or about the 4th day of July 2024 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant Thomas Nathaniel Henson committed the offense of evading arrest or detention violation of condition 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State, do you waive other violations?
Waive the remaining violation allegations, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1? Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudicate guilt, but continue Mr. Henson on supervision.
I
All
think
right.
that was partially, part of the agreement, Your Honor. We're also going to be asking, obviously, if you would consider, continuing him and keeping him on the deferred after further testimony.
All right. Now that I've taken his plea of true on that, let's proceed with the new case. Counsel, have you received all of the discovery?
I have, Your Honor.
Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Henson, did you review the document entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to have a grand jury review the evidence in this case and make a decision on whether or not to indict and hold you over for trial? Did you understand that your attorney has certain rights, namely 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for jury trial? Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, I do.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
All right, court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights on Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review the information with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Your
Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with evading arrest, detention with a vehicle? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you enter plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, court could find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Henson, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, the state is recommending community supervision. They'll be silent on your application for deferred adjudication. It's to run concurrent with 2022 CR 5859. They're taking in consideration 2024 PF 06107, 2024 PF 06357. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, sir.
Defense is at the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours community service restitution, and no contact with Susie Castaneda. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Contain any exhibit attachments, Your Honor.
No objections, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witness statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Right, do y'all have something that shows him identified as D1? It has him as S1. And based upon what I've read in the police report, it appears that he is D1, but I deal with the 4 corners of the
I
document.
understand it.
So the only persons who are identified, they have someone D1 and C1, and they have D1 as the driver. So does anyone have any identifiers of who D1 is?
I can pull it up,
All right, thank you.
I have looking, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And then this is gonna have to be set for PSI if there's sufficient evidence to find him guilty.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Norma, what will be a PSI date for this? Okay. Okay. I'm just waiting for them to give me more information. Yes.
Ben says no objection. I would like to supplement State's Exhibit 1.
I have no objections, Your Honor.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, then the stipulations will be supplemented with the document given to the court, which has the identifiers. After reviewing that document, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. This will be set for sentencing on October 28th, 2024. I'm going to order PSI and TAP, and at that time, I'll let you know whether or not I will follow your plea bargain agreement. All right, is there any other questions? All right, and then we'll take up the motion to revoke on that date as well. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're
May I be
welcome.
excused?
Yes,
You have a good day.
thank you. All right, and then Jay Warris. Vashon? Yes, sir. Here it is. You're welcome. All right, we're back on the record in 2024 CR 1043 State versus J. Juarez. And if you all could re-announce for the record, please.
Carl Basil for the defendant, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Basil, the court had considered your argument. The court reviewed Article 42.037 with regards to restitution, and based upon that article of the courts, it's in the court's opinion that the court can still order restitution in this case. And I'll let you place on the record whatever you would like to place on the record as it relates to that. And
Yes, Your
then
Honor.
we'll speak towards the restitution.
It's the defendant's position, Your Honor, that since this court granted the deferred adjudication on March 7th, 2024, and at that time in the court's judgment, there was restitution was listed as 0. And on the conditions of probation, there was no amount of restitution listed. That by rule of law, that order became final after 30 days and became a final order, just like if the defendant wanted to appeal, he didn't want deferred adjudication, he would have to have filed that within 30 days. On June 12th, the supplemental request was submitted for set the case for restitution hearing, which is more than 30 days after that, and is the defense argument, Your Honor, that the court at that time does not have the authority to go back and change the judgment. And I've submitted some cases I wrote them down. My computer's battery's about dead here, so I'll have to read them off the paperwork Your Honor gave you.
Yes, no problem.
Cases that I researched, and while there's not directly, so the court knows they're not directly on issue because they're mostly talking about probation, and I understand the statute that you're talking about mentions probation. Most of the time, there are some places in there it does talk about deferred adjudication on there. It's Cox v. State, 445 Southwest Second 200. That's the Texas Criminal Court of Appeals, 1969. Bailey v. State, 160 Southwest Third 11. It's also Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, 2004. Ex parte Cavazos, 2003 Southwest Second Third 333. Texas Criminal Appeals, 2006. And ex parte Roberts, which is 409 Southwest Second, Southwest Third 758. Texas Appeal San Antonio, 2013.
All right.
Those are the cases that were provided on the notes to the court that I'm relying on, other than just the general, also under again, under notice provisions under due process clause, United States Constitution, the Fifth and the 14th Amendment, and the Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 19, which requires that he be given due process before any life, liberty, or property is taken from him, and it's our argument that since that order was final, the court does not have the jurisdiction to do that.
All right, and the court will note for the record that on March 7, 2024, as a part of the plea bargain agreement, the court ordered that restitution was to be determined to Kenyana, Keyyana Warner. And according to the plea bargain agreement, the plea bargain agreement stated that restitution was to be payable to Keyyana Warner, the victim in cause number 708710. That was a part of the plea bargain agreement that was agreed to by Mr. Juarez on that day, and that is a part of the contract that he signed. With regards to the judgment stating that no restitution, it states $0 restitution. The court is finding that that was in error. It should have been that restitution was to be determined. And this case has been reset more than once for both parties to come together to see if there is an agreement on restitution. The first restitution hearing was scheduled for June 25th, 2024. Then it's reset for July 18th, 2024 for the state to obtain proof that the complainant did not use insurance. And that was at the request of the defense because the complainant had a deductible. Then it was recalled for August 1st, but defense attorney was ill. And then it was recalled on August 1st because the defendant was ill on July 18th. And then on August 1st, we were to have a restitution hearing and a witness was allowed to appear by Zoom. And now we're here on September 12th. So have you all come, the court has received documentation of a preliminary estimate for restitution. And they put that total at $6,399.22.
That's correct, Your Honor. I've received that. I've reviewed that with my client, and my client is desiring to have a hearing and evidence presented on that amount. I've discussed that with him in detail last time and further detail today in the courtroom.
All right, state, you'll need to have witnesses here then for this being the amount of restitution.
When you're
How long will it take you?
I will need to ask Ms. Warner, so I don't know right now.
All right, so what we're gonna do, and this is gonna be the last setting that I'm giving everybody for restitution.
Just so the court knows, Your Honor, I will be out starting tomorrow through next Wednesday. I'm having a medical procedure
No.
done tomorrow, and I will be back. So I'm just
All right, do you want to do it, is October 21st good for you or no?
No, that's fine. I mean, I'll be back before then. I just want to let the court know if you want to do it next week, I'll be out.
Okay, no problem.
And Your Honor, I should be able to secure.
All right, Norma, this case is going to be recalled October 21st, and this will be the last sitting for restitution.
Your Honor,
Yes.
will Ms. Warner be allowed to testify via Zoom? There is no objection from defense counsel.
I have no objection to that.
All right, they'll be allowed, she'll be allowed to testify by Zoom.
But
All right, thank you. All right, you all are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Ferguson will give him a reset form.
yes.
All right, is there any other cases we have on the docket? Or are we done? Yay. Okay.
Wow. I got you open the Miller Lite. Here you go. Yes, sir. Judge, are you voting on the watch?
Oh, I need to hear.
Oh, yes. No, I wrote it down. Yes. Yes.
Judge,